Welcome to Quiz, where we explore the art of architectural visualization. By the end of this video, you will have a better understanding of how to design and create visually captivating architectural scenes. If you haven't watched the first two parts of this series, be sure to click the link in the top right hand corner of this video to catch up. In this video, I am using 4 add-ons. First 3 are free and you can download them with the links in the description. The fourth one comes with Blender and you can just enable it. So, let's dive right in. For our ground, we need to add a plane. Scale it like so. I need to add details for the ground, so go to edit mode and subdivide. I'll go with 20 subdivisions. Then go to the modifier properties panel and add the subdivision surface modifier. The next modifier I need is displace modifier. Click the new button on the displace modifier. Go to textures properties and select clouds as the displace type. Right now, the strength of displace modifier is too much. To fix that, go to Modifiers tab and lower the strength. You can shade smooth if you like. I'm using G-Scatter add-on for the grass. It's a free add-on and it is really easy to use. Just locate your zip file and click Install add-on. With this add-on, you get bunch of free grass models. Now go to Geometry Nodes window. Don't worry about these geometry nodes, you don't have to be an expert to use them. Click on the new button in the Geometry Nodes editor. Hit Shift A and search for Distribute Points on Faces node. That will make our ground disappear, but we'll fix that. Now I need the Node Wrangler add-on. It comes with Blender, you just have to enable it. Now while holding the Shift and Control keys, use right mouse button to drag Distribute Points on Faces node towards Group Input node. Press Shift A and search for Instance on Points node and add it between these two nodes. Now I'm going to use the G-Scatter add-on. I'll choose this Creeping Bent Grass cut. I'll keep the level of detail and material quality at low. Press Add to Scene and click OK. Now I am going to locate our grass model and move it over here so we can see it properly. I'm using Object Info node to scatter our grass on the ground. Now click on this eyedropper button and select our grass model. There you go, now you have grass all over the ground. Right now these grass seems too big and they are of same size. I'm going to randomly scale them using a random value node. I'll adjust the limits of my grass size. Click on the rotation output of Distribute Points on Faces node and search for Rotate Euler. Connect the rotation output of Rotate Euler node to the rotation input of Instance on Points node. I want a random value node so I can rotate my grass on the ground randomly, but I only want to rotate my grass around z-axis. So change the data type to vector. Keep maximum XY rotation at 0. To have a full cycle of rotation around z-axis, use 2π for the maximum z rotation. Mind you, these values are in radians. We need more grass for the ground, so I'll increase this density value. For the time being, I'll keep the density at 1000. I'll change the seed value so I get a different iteration of grass scattering on the ground. We can change these values in the Geometry Nodes modifier. To do so, we have to connect our inputs to the Group Input node. Now you can see them in the Geometry Nodes modifier. On this Distribute Points on Faces node, select the distribution method as Poisson disk. Now we can change the grass density using this density factor value. Interesting thing here is now we can use weight paint texture to control this density factor value. Now go to the vertex groups panel and click on this plus icon. Rename the new vertex group like this. Go to Geometry Nodes modifier and click this button in front of density factor value. And click here and choose your vertex group. Now we only need to weight paint our ground. Isolate your plane by hitting slash and go to weight paint mode by hitting Ctrl plus tab. Better to disable the grass for the viewport. In the weight paint mode, if you paint red, you will get grass on the ground, but if you keep the ground blue, then you will not get grass. I am going to paint red in the camera view, so I'll only have grass on my camera view. I'll speed up this process. Hit Ctrl plus tab to go back to the object mode. It is working, but I'll lower the grass density value over here. That is it for the ground. Now I'll model the swimming pool. Start by adding a plane and change the dimensions like this. Let's bring our plane over here where it is supposed to be. To isolate the plane, hit slash and press Ctrl+A to apply the scale. Then go to the edit mode and hit I to inset. Give it a thickness around 1 meter like this and press R holding the shift key to repeat the previous action. Press E to extrude this face down. Add a loop cut like this and move it up here. Press F and now we have a water surface. Let's come back to our ground over here. We need to make some adjustments. Select these faces and subdivide like so. I'm going to do some finer adjustments in the weight paint mode. You can see this issue, right? Hit Ctrl+Tab to go back to the object mode. Now select these faces and delete them. Enable the grass in the geometry nodes modifier to see everything is alright. I'll connect this input to group input node. I want to change the size of this grass. I'll reduce the maximum size of this grass model here. Now I have to increase the density though. It's still not working the way I want it to work. The weight paint texture seems alright. Let me change the seed value. That did not work. I can keep increasing the grass density so it can fill up the ground. I want to lift up this house a bit to make it look like it was constructed on a deck. That seems alright. The next step is adding trees. To do that, I'm using Botanic add-on, which is free and really easy to use. It has some good looking trees in the free version too. Go to the deciduous category and choose Malus domestica, a summer tree. I want this tree to appear on the foreground of the final image. Having something on the foreground always makes your scenes far more interesting. We don't want it to obstruct the focus of the image though. Now I need another tree. I'll use this Robinia pseudo-acacia under the same category. I'm going to make this tree create a shadow on our house. The trick here is to position your tree in an ideal position so it creates a shadow on the wall of the house. Now I'll add a HDRI to light up the scene. Now press Ctrl+T to add a mapping node. Now let's go to the rendered view mode to see our work. I need to find the position of the sun in this HDRI so I can rotate it to get the shadow from the second tree I placed. I might have to change the position of the tree also. Now I have a shadow projected on the wall by this tree as I wanted. I don't need a sharper shadow, so I'll move the tree away from the wall. Now that's better. I'll adjust the tree in the foreground also. Now the rest is easy. Now I'll add this large tree as well as show something to the scene. This tree and the next few trees I'm going to add will be in the background of the scene. Now I need some bushes, but I cannot find any in the free version. So I'll use this tree in the coniferous category instead of bushes. Let's move it over here and scale it down. I'm only adding the trees within the sight of my camera. You can move them, rotate them, duplicate them, do whatever you need to make them your background. At this point we have done the hard part. This is really easy. Comment down below if you have any questions regarding this tutorial. That should do it for the background. Now I'm going to add a texture for the ground here. For that I'm using the Easy PBR add-on. With this add-on you can add materials to your models with a single click. Well, not a single click, but you don't have to load each and every map by yourself. In the shader editor now you can find the Easy PBR add-on. Choose the ground category. Select this ground 003 and click this download button. Click on the ground and then go to materials properties and click on this plus icon in the Easy PBR add-on. You may not see this texture much, but you can scale it up if you want to. Now I am going to add a couple of cylinders beneath our deck. Press Shift A and add a cylinder. I'll give it 16 vertices. I'll reduce the radius up to 0.4 and depth will be 0.5. And go to Modifiers tab, add the subdivision surface modifier. You only need one level of subdivision for this. But right now this doesn't look like a cylinder, so go to edit mode and hit Ctrl+R to add loop cuts. Then shade smooth in the object mode. scale it on the z-axis like this. I think I need few more loop cuts. Now I'm going to add an array modifier. Let's increase the factor y value like this. Next, I'm going to add another array modifier. Here, change the factor x value. Now you can increase the count up to 3 and make the final adjustment for the factor x value. Now our deck seems too high, so I might have to add a couple of stairs. I'll start by adding a cube. You can look for a model for this in an asset library if you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and model it right away. Select these 4 vertices and delete them. Then add a mirror modifier. Next, add an array modifier. Change the z offset and increase the count up to 3. Move it up or down as necessary. I might have to increase the step height like this. Select these edges and add a bevel, because in the real world every edge has a bevel. Now you can apply the mirror modifier and do the final adjustments. Finally, I'll duplicate this and move it near the main entrance. Bring back the trees, bring back the grass. Let's preview this in the rendered view. Not too bad, right? I'll just move these trees along the z-axis a bit. It'll be a lot easier if I had used bushes. But I don't have any bushes, right? I have to move this HDRI on the z-axis a bit. That doesn't seem to be working, so let's increase up to 0.04. Now I think we are done here. But still I don't like these bold patches in the ground. Let me increase the maximum density a bit. Doesn't work, so I'll increase the maximum size of this grass model. There is no right answer for this. You can tweak these values all day if you want. However, there is something that I forgot to do for this swimming pool. Go to the edit mode. Select these faces and extrude up by 0.15 meters. And now move the whole swimming pool by 0.15 meters down. So that is it for this video, guys. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more. Don't forget to click the bell icon to enable notifications so you don't miss out on the next part of this exciting video series. See you in the next video or in the comment section.